we've all talked about taking that next step. No one more than David Wagner himself. How important to do that, and how big a factor is the recruitment and the kind of added scope that David brings, because we're seeing a lot of people come from different climes that we've never seen at Huddersfield Town before, probably not since their one season to Steve Bruce back in 1999. There's players coming from different areas now. How big a boon is that we now have knowledge of these areas that perhaps we wouldn't have had David, Christoph not been here?
I think it's a big difference maker. You look at what does the club have to do differently. One of the key things it has to do differently is recruitment. And I think with David and Christoph's influence, with the support of Stuart, who's come in, I think he's been in just over a year, I think, providing the sort of technical support and the eyes and ears of our scouting network, it does bring a different perspective, and it does bring, I think, a competitive advantage, which is what it's all about. So we have to compete, as I said before, in the most competitive division in the country. But we have some aspects that make us different, where we can gain that advantage because of the knowledge of the people that we have here. So why would we not do that is the key question. So we are doing it, but we're ensuring we get a really good blend of players. So people that have been here for a while, young players that have stepped forward in the last few years, and then the combination of foreign players is a really good blend, and we've got to maintain that blend and really develop that competitive advantage on the field.
And the desire to have that blend, I suppose people will look at the headline, guys coming in like Michael Heffeler, Chris Lover, those types of guys. But equally, we've made quite a big change at academy level this season, and that kind of the willingness to make the hard decisions perhaps and take the risks, I suppose shows the commitment we have to getting that blend right, combining these guys from other places with homegrown talent that can hopefully make the grade at Championship and above.
Yeah, look, elite player performance planning, which has now been in place for 4 years, has brought about some significant change. We're a Category 2 club, but in productivity terms, it hasn't really happened for us. Now, we can sit back and wait, which a lot of clubs do, and wait for that sort of funnel and channel of homegrown talent to come through, or you can act. The club decided to act and make some changes, and that's not being disrespectful to other people, they're facts. But yeah, the commitment to the academy in the sense of making it productive. We have to make it productive, or otherwise, a la Brentford. Brentford took the decision they're going to get rid of their academy. We haven't made that kind of decision. We're about rethinking it, realigning it, and making it more productive.
I suppose you can't be averse to any type of decision, though, can you? Like, say, Brentford made their decision. I'm sure it were a tough one for a plethora of reasons, but it kind of shows the willingness from Dr. Huddersfield Town, but this competitive championship, that people all across the country are making big, tough decisions in the attempt to be better than us, I suppose, in that sense. It's a very, very competitive division, isn't it? Yeah,
and that's absolutely... You get the big clubs coming down with lots of money and resources, but they get the challenge of having to try and cut their cloth because the parachute money is nowhere near the money that they would have got in the Premier League. But then you have got clubs like Brentford who are acting differently, have been acting differently for 2 or 3 years in recruitment terms, and beyond that probably, and had some success. Let's be clear about that. So people do look at ways of making their football club as competitive it can be, and all due respect to Brentford, I think they've gone about it in a really good way. We have to create our own platform, and we are doing that through the decisions that are being made with David, with Christoph, with Stuart, the way we recruit, where we're recruiting from, and to bring us a successful team on the field.
I'm sure there's a section of fans, and any fan in football full stop will think that the ultimate tool to be successful at any level is to spend money, whether that's on players, whether that's on other things around the club. Huddersfield Town fans will look at other clubs that are similarly sized to us that have enjoyed success in the past in the Championship. Do we look to those guys as to look for little ideas on things that can give us a competitive advantage, or is each club kind of specific? I'm asking you this because you've had good experience at other clubs. I'm thinking Watford, Notts County, Sheffield United, so you can perhaps take lessons from other places, whereas we only know Huddersfield Town. Yeah,
listen, I think you have to do a bit of both. So I think you have to be very conscious of the competition and what it's doing and what's worked and what's not worked. But I think you have to be very clear about what we are as a football club. That's the primary objective. I think we're moving towards a much clearer football philosophy because of David's influence and the way we play, the structure and so on, which is key to attracting players and a key to developing players and improving players. So we're clear about what we're doing, I think, but you have to keep an eye on the competition. You have to look at innovation. You have to look at what clubs have found, a new way, a niche of doing things. We will always do that. I think you'd be stupid not to, but fundamentally be clear about what we're doing, and be very good at what we're doing.